Chapter 9. Marie. Summer turned to fall at Drosselmeyer's estate while Marie continued her daily adventures. Seasons didn't seem to exist in the realm. It was always the same perfect temperature and the same perfect weather, making it easy to lose track of time. After her flower discovery, Marie had been very eager to see what other extraordinary things she could make. But try as she might, she found she couldn't create things just on a whim. The magic seemed to appear and vanish of its own accord, and when she least expected it. If she were in a particularly adventurous mood while heading off to explore, entire fields of blossoms would suddenly open in a brilliant kaleidoscope of color, welcoming her at the start of her journey. Other times, if a sad thought or memory occurred to Marie while she was there, like when she thought of her parents or felt frustrated by a tinkering project gone wrong, the sky clouded over ever so slightly and a drop of rain would fall. But if she tried to force something to happen or to will it to exist, well, it just didn't work that way. Back at home, business ventures began to draw Drosselmeyer's attention away from visiting the realm with Marie as often. Inventions needed his focus, and he found that his thoughts were always pulled back to his work. So Marie started to visit the realm alone, taking her sugar plum doll with her whenever she went. Little by little, she brought her own tinkering contraptions over from her uncle's workshop to perfect in the realm. Since time moved so much more slowly there, she found she was able to tinker for ages in the golden sunlight streaming through the palace windows without having to worry if she was spending too much time away from her studies. It was a grand plan, until one day she returned home from a 24-hour building extravaganza in the realm, only to discover it was still mid-morning, and she had a whole day's worth of school lessons ahead of her. After many yawns and an ill-timed snooze that earned her a stern lecture from her governess, Marie determined that she would need a proper bedroom in the realm if she were going to continue spending so much time working there. "Are you certain Master Drosselmeyer requested this furniture to be moved to the end of this hallway?" the servants had asked Marie, very confused, when they helped her haul a spare guest bed down to the end of the checkered hall aboard a dolly. "Yes," Marie had nodded seriously. "It's very important, crucial to the success of his inventions." The servants looked at one another, even more confounded, but none of them seemed to want to question Drosselmeyer's orders. Marie eyed the bed, with just a simple spread and one pillow resting on top. "And he said we'll need more pillows," she declared. Soon Marie had fashioned a cozy little bedroom, all her own in the realm palace. It had taken a decent amount of effort to get it set up, from attaching a tinkered engine to the dolly so she could single-handedly transport the furniture through the forest, to then inventing a pulley elevator to haul it up to the top of the palace tower. But it had all been worth it. Everything looked just right. There was a pretty canopy and a soft bedspread. All the pillows she'd borrowed from throughout the manor gave it a regal appearance. She'd even lined her palace bedroom windows with pink drapes and painted flowers along the walls like watercolor wallpaper. "It's perfect," she said to Sugar Plum happily, admiring her handiwork. "Now I can spend as much time as I like here. Days, weeks, maybe even more." She gazed around her peaceful room and out through the window overlooking the vast realm landscape. "It's too bad Uncle isn't here to see this," she said, a touch wistfully. "I wonder what he's up to in the real world right now." Just then, something caught Marie's attention from the corner of her eye, something that made her turn her head slowly and caused an odd feeling to creep through her chest. "Sugar Plum, what is that?" she asked. Visible on her bedroom wall, right where she had painted a bouquet of flowers, was the faint outline of a doorway. It was nearly hidden, but with the golden beams of afternoon sunlight streaming through the tower window just so, the outline was unmistakable. "Another doorway," Marie breathed. How did I not see it before? She wondered what this new bit of mystery from the realm could mean. Had the door suddenly appeared? Had it been there all along? Had the realm only now wanted her to see it? And most importantly, where did it lead to? Where did it lead? The sunlight shifted, reflecting off Sugar Plum's glass eyes. Marie took a deep breath. There's only one way to find out. You won't believe it, Uncle. You won't believe it. Marie dragged Drosselmeyer along through the realm, straight toward the palace. Slow down, child. Drosselmeyer loosened his collar. I'm not as young as I look, you know. But you don't understand. This is incredible. Marie pulled him along through the palace's grand hall and up the stairs to one of the very top towers, where she had furnished her cozy bedroom. Is this your bedroom? Drosselmeyer asked in surprise when he saw the setup. How lovely. I had no idea you'd been furnishing the rooms for yourself. Are those my pillows? Never mind the pillows, Uncle, Marie insisted. This is what I wanted to show you. Marie threw open the door that had mysteriously appeared in her bedroom wall and led Drosselmeyer up a short flight of stairs to a cavernous room filled with whirring gears, cogs, and pistons. Marie watched her mentor marvel at the mechanism surrounding them, almost the same way she had marveled at his workshop the first time she'd seen it. Incredible, Drosselmeyer breathed. You've created an invention room inside the palace. No, Uncle, it's better, Marie exclaimed. She guided him over to a wall where several windows were covered with heavy closed drapes. Look! She threw open the curtains. Drosselmeyer gazed out the window. Through the crackled glass, she was just able to make out the view to the outside. There was an image printed on the window, warped and blurry. He studied it closer. It was an impression of a number, written backward upon the glass. Then he saw the view beyond and realized they were not looking through a window to the outside landscape at all. Is that my workshop? He asked in disbelief. Marie nodded enthusiastically. I couldn't believe it when I first saw it either. But where? Drosselmeyer looked around them at all the moving gears and mechanisms. Then he heard a familiar chime. Are we inside the grandfather clock? He asked. Yes, Marie cried. Do you remember how we moved the grandfather clock back to your workshop? Somehow, the realm has made it possible to see back into the real world through it, like a window. Or a portal, Drosselmeyer whispered. Remarkable. You made this? Constructed the grandfather clock mechanism inside this room to act as a portal? No, Marie shook her head. I think the door might have been here all along, and I just didn't notice it. Then that would make two of us, Drosselmeyer said, for I certainly never noticed it as well. I did wonder what was happening in the real world when I first saw the doorway, Marie realized. Maybe that's what helped me to see it. Is that even possible? Drosselmeyer pondered her question for a while. Perhaps, he said slowly, you have developed a deeper connection with the realm, one that is unique. He returned his attention to the whirring gears around them, and I dare say there are many more mysteries of this special place yet to uncover. The appearance of the grandfather clock portal renewed Marie's eager spark to return to the realm more and more often in hopes of discovering even more hidden bits of magic. But just as before, the realm had a way of keeping its secrets to itself. No more unexpected revelations popped up, despite Marie's keeping a keen eye peeled for any hint, or thinking very focused thoughts, and then whirling around to see if her imagination had brought them to life. In time, she returned to her usual pattern. She would start her day with breakfast at the estate, and then hurry to Drosselmeyer's workshop to collect her latest contraption to tinker with in the realm. Only now she had the advantage of peeping back into the real world every so often to keep track of how much time she had been away. The palace rooms grew cluttered with her tools and trinkets, bits and bobs of different machines and gizmos. Her skills grew advanced, even more advanced than Drosselmeyer's, the old man would note. She had fashioned a cloak conveyor belt to run along the palace walls, just like the one of the estate. at the estate. Should any guests ever arrive for a grand ball she liked to fancy. She filled the palace kitchen with steam-powdered ice boxes and self-replenishing wood-fired ovens. After a particular burst of inspiration, she even invented a motorized bicycle, perfect for traveling back and forth quickly from the palace, across the bridge, and to the real-world doorways so she wouldn't need to walk. Whenever she completed a new invention, Marie would peek out through the grandfather clock window to see if Drosselmeyer was in his workshop so that she could run and bring her mentor to see her latest creation. But with time passing so slowly in the realm as compared to the real world, Marie noticed that, more often than not, her uncle had stepped away to complete other business. On one such occasion, Marie sat in her palace bedroom alone with her Sugar Plum doll. "It sure is quiet here, isn't it, Sugar Plum?" Marie asked a bit sadly. She wound up the key on Sugar Plum's back. The doll began dancing gracefully across the bed. Marie glanced around her bedroom, decorated with flowers and trinkets and shelves filled with toy friends so she wouldn't feel lonely. Except she was lonely. It was always just like her in the realm. She didn't have any real friends back at home. Her governess had commented more than once that she would benefit from playing with children her own age. But between her studies and tinkering lessons and all the time she spent creating things in the realm, there wasn't much chance for meeting new children, and Drosselmeyer was the only other person who knew about the realm. They had both agreed long ago that it was a secret best kept between them. They had no idea what would happen if too many people knew about a secret world hidden within the manor walls. Would they come for it? Try to take it away? Destroy it? Perhaps a bit selfishly, neither she nor Drosselmeyer wanted outsiders tinkering with what was their greatest tinkering possibility of all, pure imagination. Still, Marie sometimes wished she had someone other than her uncle to share it with, someone her age, who could play with her in the world she had created, someone who would love it the same way she did. "At least I have you," Marie said to her doll. Sugar Plum's key wound down, and the doll came to a stop with its head tilted inquisitively to the side, as it always did. "You've been with me since the beginning," Marie continued quietly. "Wouldn't it be lovely if you were real too?" Sugar Plum seemed to stare at Marie, eyes unblinking. "If you were real," Marie repeated thoughtfully to herself. She thought back to her uncle's words when they had first discovered the realm. Things are possible inside the realm that aren't possible in the real world. Marie glanced over to the door leading to the grandfather clock portal. "Perhaps you have developed a deeper connection with the realm, and I dare say there are many more mysteries of this special place yet to uncover." Marie took hold of her doll. She looked at the gears, the wind-up key. She was suddenly reminded of the music box Drosselmeyer had made her so many years ago, when she was a lonely orphan come to live at the estate. A perfect tiny machine, filled with love and memory, and all operated by a key. "I have an idea, Sugar Plum," Marie said slowly, "but for this to work, I'm going to need a lot more parts." The next several months passed in a blur. Marie spent entire weeks in the realm working on her invention. Even Drosselmeyer started to notice her absence from the real world, which was saying a lot. "Whatever are you up to, Marie?" he asked, intrigued, as she marched off with yet another handful of gears and scrap metal from his workshop. "It's not ready yet," she always replied, "but soon." Deep in the palace depths, down the longest staircase and safeguarded behind heavy iron doors in a cavernous room surrounded by machinery, Marie worked, and worked, and worked, until finally, one day, she tightened the last bolt, she secured the last pulley, she adjusted the final lever, and focused the last lens. "It's ready," she said, wiping her brow. She stood back and admired her creation, a massive engine of grinding gears and pumping pistons. Water-powered turbines rotated, releasing steam that spun fan belts attached to pulleys that turned cogs that all connected to one giant glass-lensed tube pointed down at a platform in the center of the room, a platform upon which sat Sugarplum. The machine was ready. It just needed the key. Marie stepped up to a star-shaped keyhole in the side of the engine. She withdrew her precious music box key from her pouch. "Here we go," she whispered. She inserted the key and turned it. The engine wheezed. It whirred. There was a bright flash of light.